Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. It is Neil and Thomas, and we are back with our Eurovision 2025 reaction videos. They are throwing the Eurovision entries at us. We have had another Super Saturday last night, and one of the countries that have decided on their entry is Latvia, and they have gone for Bur Man Laimi, I think is how you pronounce it. The group's name is Tautumeitas. Before we do get into this reaction video, please remember to like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all of those things. It really does help us out. If you want to see all of our other reaction videos, or if you want to check out our podcast, because we do have that as well, do go to neilpoint.com. It's where you will find all of the links, as well as the links to our social media. So you can give us a follow there on Blue Sky and Instagram. So let's see what Latvia is sending to Basel in May. This is Bur Man Laimi and Tautumeitas.
Okay, this is cool. This is giving me a little bit of My Sister's Crown vibes.
This is what I said first time I heard the song.
Okay, I'm now getting a little bit Lion King.
What?
Lion King. Disney.
Okay. I was getting Blanca Paloma vibes with like the curtains. I like their outfits. Is that supposed to be rain?
I think so.
Okay.
Or snow, maybe?
I do like the switch from like the blue to the orange light. I think it's a cool effect.
Yeah. Yeah, this orange bit just reminds me of when they go to Pride Rock in the Lion King. That's all I can think of with the drums and stuff like that. I think they sound great as well.
Oh yeah, the vocals are on point.
This is not what I expected from Latvia, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Ooh! Okay. Right, I'm interested to start with you, Thomas, because you have told me, I've not heard this song before. I think you thought we maybe had, but I don't recognize it. But you have told me that you didn't like this song, and I want to know what about it you're not a fan of, because I don't get it.
Look, I said, with this song, I said this is going to need staging for me to make sense. Let me start with the staging. I think they look great. I think it was a very clever staging. The play with the lights, like the blue light and the orange light, it worked very well. I love that it went like it was very like cut off and sudden, like a change, like a bright change of lighting, which I enjoyed. especially towards the end with a flashing light, and it was sort of like there was a light like circling them behind that curtain. The visuals were on point. The vocals were very, very good, but I had not expected anything less. If you're going to send a harmony group that does this kind of music, like obviously you're going to have some good vocalists for that. So that's not what I was worried about. The issue that I had with the studio cut was that it didn't come together for me because there's no actual hook. It doesn't, for me, it lacks a hook and a melody that is going to make me sing that song at the end. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm 100% sure. Fine, you can pull faces, but like I'm 100% sure in about a half an hour time, I will not remember how this song goes at all. I will remember the visuals and I will remember the vocal, the way that the vocal sounds, but it lacks a hook. It lacks something that makes me want to listen to it again. It's just not made for me. Vesna, you said it sounds a bit like Vesna, My Sister's Crown. I agree with that. That was also the first vibe that I got from this song. It's still very different, but it has similar vibes. That song was not made for me. I never grew into it. I listened to it a couple of times. It's not something that I would listen to. We had this sort of conversation with Lilik from Croatia when we did some of the Croatian songs earlier. Same thing. I can see the appeal. I can see why people would like this. I'm expecting this to do fairly well, especially with the staging concept that they have. But just like with the Maltese song, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be voting for it. It's not made for me. But that's no disrespect. I can see the artistry and it looked impressive, but I'm just missing that sort of memorable hook or melody that makes me want to, like when you go to bed and you can't get it out of your head.
Right. Okay.
That's what it's missing.
Okay. Respectfully, I disagree completely. I really like the hook of I think it's a subtle hook, and I think that's maybe where you're not getting it, because I think it's not projected over the top. It's the Bur Man. I obviously don't speak Latvian or whatever language they are doing this in, but that is going around in my head right now. It's swirling. I really like this. It had like a kind of like a tribal feel a little bit. Like that's what I kept saying. It visually and sonically was reminding me of the Lion King, like when they go to Pride Rock and they all gather, like that sort of tribal like drums in there. I really like the sound because the sound is so traditional at the beginning, and then the last 30 seconds or so you start to get the more swirls and synthy sounds and stuff like that, and I started to go, "Ooh, where did this come from?" Like I was really getting into it. I honestly, I'm fairly surprised that this isn't for you, but that's your opinion. That's fine.
But you see, the thing is, I had this exact same issue with Vesna, where I felt like, and I think I said that then, where I felt like I should like this. It has all the elements that I like in a Eurovision entry. It does have that traditional vibe. I love traditional music. I love folk music. I love a good vocal, but it's just not coming together for me.
Interesting.
That's all it is.
Weird. No, I do like this. I would see this personally as a much safer qualifier than Don's was.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Latvia continue to. Let's have a streak for Latvia. Let's see how many years in a row we can get, because I would quite like to see that. But obviously, I could see this getting a second qualification for Latvia in a row. I just thought there was a lot of fun and warmth to it, and I just really appreciated that. Yeah, there's just, I can't point to anything and say like I didn't like that, because I think it all just came together as a nice package. It really worked for me as a performance, and really you could just pick it up and pull it on the Eurovision stage as is. Like you don't need to do much. I'm sure they will do some tweaking and stuff like that to make it a little bit bigger.
I assume they have to.
But other than that, I thought it was a really strong song. Do I see it breaking into the left-hand side of the leaderboard? Probably not. But I think it's definitely worthy of getting a qualification spot, and I think it's really nice. And again, this is just my first time hearing it. So this is just initial reaction, and the initial reaction is quite positive. I do like this. I'm not quite sure where it's going to end up in my ranking initially, but yeah, it's an interesting one because it doesn't scream Eurovision, but it doesn't scream not Eurovision, if that makes sense. Like it's just sort of like its own thing. I don't know. I really like it. Yeah, and again, I'm just when you were saying that you weren't a fan of this, I was interested to see what I was going to get because I hadn't heard it, and I was shocked because I had like almost prepared myself for the worst. And I was like, you probably. Because it's like, well, Thomas likes most things, so if Thomas doesn't like it, it must be bad.
No. And
then by the end of it,
let me just clarify that. Let me just clarify that because nothing that we say here on this channel is objective. It's all it's all subjective. It's all just opinions. I feel like, do you know what? We've discussed a couple of times now when we talked about previous entries. We've discussed Blanca Paloma from Spain a couple of times, where I really loved that one, and for me that all came together and it was beautiful, and for you it didn't, and it never did. And I think in this case we just differ. But again, let me just stress that I do see the potential in this. Me saying that I don't personally like the song does not mean that I can't see it going to the final or breaking the top 10. Even we don't have a lot of songs yet. I know that there's going to be lots of people who will watch this and think, wow, this is impressive, which it kind of is. Again, vocally impressive, visually impressive.
It's just not working as a package.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be the one voting for it. I'm sorry to the Latvian fans if you're watching. You've got one fan. Neil is a fan. I'm not really the biggest fan of this. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just not my
your
genre.
Cup of tea.
Exactly.
Not your cup of tea. Okay. Do you agree with me? Do you really like the song? Do you agree more with Thomas that it just isn't gelling with you? It's just not for you. Let us know what you think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can send us a voice note. The link to do that is at neilpwad.com, where you can also find all the playlists, including the National Final and Eurovision 2025 playlists. But this is a short one, but short and sweet. And we will see you for another reaction very soon. Bye.